Shall we start? Thank you so very much for patiently listening to all the set of lectures and deliberations that just came up from on my own. And today, hopefully, it would be the last one. And then I'm taking a small break, and then we'll again look into different facets of yoga and philosophy, Vedantic philosophy, with other topics that you give or topics that I can also suggest you. So today's topic would be on karma, concept of karma and karma yoga, importance of karma yoga. So as usual, we'll start with a small prayer. Gently close your eyes. Be aware of the breath. Keeping your spine erect. Slowly feel the difference in the pattern of the breath already. As you observe the breath, just by the power of observation, the breath had become long, deep, and slow. Without any efforts like you had put in. Completely absorb yourself in the breath and just listen to the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Stunvanti Divyai Savaihi Vedai Sangapada Kramopanishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tatkatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Thank you, friends. First of all, we'll understand the term karma. Karma, from the Sanskrit lexicon, has this originated root verb called kr, from which it had got originated from. Kr actually means, kr is the dhatu, the root word, actually means action or being laborious. Deed or being laborious or doing action. Simple. There are different philosophies. We have 6 darshanas, Shad darshanas we call it as. There are 6 philosophies in Indian system and 3-4 other which are, a little away from the perception of Vedic texts, and the 6 which abides by the Vedic text perception. All the philosophies have different notions about karma. So to end up with all those philosophies, perception is very, very difficult. So we'll just take the yogic and Vedantic perception over karma. That's easier also to understand. And it is more on the, as Manish is saying, it's more on the downline, in the trend. Talk about karma and use the word karma time and again. So what is this karma or karma, as Westerners say? Karma, one, is basically an action or a deed that you perform. Two, it is the principle of cause and effect. The action that you do and the effect of the action. It also includes the principle of cause and effect. Three, it also includes karma phala. What is karma phala? It is the consequence or the fruit of action that you do. Like there is an effect of action, there is a consequence of an action, right? So it also includes the fruit of the action. And it also includes four, which we call it as uttara phala, the after effect, the aftermath of your action. For example, I am doing yoga. Like I am in the posture called Vrikshasana, the tree posture. So the action itself is karma. And the effect of Vrikshasana, let me just admit a few. Okay. So the effect of Vrikshasana is that immediate balance that you get, the immediate focus that you get, in your psyche, in your body, the alignment of your body, that effect. And there is this fruit, the consequence of Vrikshasana after you do the complementary and the main posture. What happens? You get relaxed, all your thoughts are nullified. That's the consequence. That's the fruit of the action. And there is this aftermath. What is this aftermath? The after effect, the later effect of Vrikshasana. If you're going to do Vrikshasana all throughout for about 48, for about mandala, we call it as mandala, 48 days, what happens? The necessary physiological balance that should happen, homeostasis that should happen within will come into place. So that is this after effect of the practice. So all these are called karma. Anything other than this is not karma. No? Anything other than this is not karma. Like I'm revengeful, okay. And then I'm revengeful about a person and then he is suffering. Oh, that is his karma. Not because you are revengeful, you can utilize the term. You also possess your own karmas. So never utilize such words, just as Manish was constantly telling you. Now, the basic classification of karma is two. One is the hateful, sinful act, what we call as kukarma. Ku is bad, okay? Bad actions. The second is sukarma. Su is good actions. All those benevolent actions which would give you all the merits, all the lovable actions, which will give you the lovable results. So, kukarma and sukarma. Suddenly, I am reminded of a story about this kukarma and sukarma. Before that, I should give a small intro about how Vedantic perception upon bad and good actions are. Like in Abrahamic religions, in Judaism, in Islam, and in Christianity, there's this punishment and reward that is being given for all good and bad actions by this Lord Almighty. It is in the hands of that divine lawgiver. On the contrary, yoga or Vedanta understands karma as an autonomous, casual law. It is completely autonomous. But they also believe that there is this Lord Almighty who is not the lawgiver, but he is the divine accountant. He keeps all those accounts of Lalita, Sylvia out there, Manish out there, or Ailey out there, all those n number of the persons, beings found in the universe. So there is definitely interference of Lord Almighty here. but he doesn't give reward or punishment to the being. That's what we believe. Because karma produces its own fruit on its own. It is completely controlled by one own self. It is completely done by one own self. That's what Rishi Patanjali also says. I'll explain that how. Now, that story. The Guru was mentioning about Sukarma and Kukarma, good action and the bad action. The Shishya is much more clever and wise like us. He's saying, look, good actions, bad actions, actions provoked by mind, the desire, the intentions. Everything is created by God. Guru said, yes. So why should I do good actions? I can do bad actions also. I can do hateful and sinful actions also. The Guru didn't reply anything. Gurustu maunam vyakhyanam shishyastu chinna samshayaha. Guru doesn't reply to all answers. Sometimes what does he do? He keeps silence, like Ramana Maharshi. At his, grace only, by being in his presence only, all the questions are vanished, destroyed. So he's very quiet. He was very quiet. He didn't say a thing. That night in the ashrama, it is the usual ritual in the ashrama. Whoever lives in the ashrama, they are given after dinner, they are given a little amount of milk. So that, we Indians also have this habit of having little amount of milk at the night. It also has beautiful therapeutic effect that it breaks off the insomnia and you can sleep well. And the next day, your bowels are fresh. So for that, we Indians also have milk at night, and that's what it is being given. But to the Shishya who asked the question, everybody was given milk, but he was given cow dung water, it seems. Water mixed with cow dung. The Shishya was so annoyed, he was angry, He went up to Guru and asked, why is this happening? Just because I questioned you. So Guru replied, look, both are created by the cow only. Milk is also given by cow. Cow dung water is also given by the cow. Now his answers were revealed. When you experience those answers, unless until you don't experience those answers all by yourself, you will never agree to. Your mind is such, your psyche is such, always in the wrong argumentation side, on the basis of wrong argumentations. Anyways, so this is good actions and bad actions, and the story had revealed the importance of doing good actions. But Vedanta says, yoga also believes the same, even Buddha says that all these actions, good or bad, will bind you. Now comes rebirth concept. Why is this good action also bind you? Why is this bad action also bind you? Because an action will always yield a fruit of action. To experience the fruit of action, you need another birth. Some karmas you try to burn out in this birth, but some resides inside you even after your death as karmic residue. And this karmic residue actually creates a dispositional tendency, what we call in Sanskrit as samskara. Does it only produce dispositional tendencies? It also leaves with psychic vasanas. You can call it a psychological traces with it. So all these psychological traces, dispositional tendencies create your personality. Now I am furious all the time. I'm hateful all the time. I'm revengeful all the time. My next birth will carry all these dispositional tendencies, all these psychological traces, and I'll become a cheetah or a leopard. So that's how we try to experience all those fruits of actions that we did in the previous birth or this birth. Now, you understand that all the actions that you do bind you to that vicious cycle of birth, death, disease, destruction, old age. Oh, that's more a horrible thing. Huh? It's more scary. Oh, I should lie on the bed. No, I will not be do anything. I will not be able to do anything. There won't be people around to help me out. That's even more scarier than death. So all this vicious cycle of birth and all those contents inside between birth and death is bondage. Now to get out of this cycle is called freedom, moksha. Your cup of coffee is not moksha. So moksha is getting out from this cycle of birth and death. What, Lalita ji? Now you're saying all actions are bound, bind me. And then you also say that you have to get out from this cycle. How is this possible? If I listen to you, like when I started my laptop on, I had this desire today, Lalita ji is going to talk about karma. Well, I have this intention, desire behind, and hence I opened the laptop and I'm now listening to you. So every action, even this mere listening has intention behind, desire behind. So this is going to bind me? Yes, it will bind you. Patanjali says, karmaha ashuklaha akrishnaha yoginaha. For yogis, karmas are neither black nor white. Neither sin yielding nor merit yielding. How do they do that? Just destroy that desire or intention behind the action. How do they destroy it? How do they give up desires? By surrender. By surrender. Last week also we talked about Bhakti Yoga, where surrender was the prime aspect. Here also Karma Yoga, surrender is the prime aspect. Why should I surrender? I don't want to be, someone else's slave. Someone asked me in the quick questions bank from your place only. I don't know who she was, but I just know she was a female. She said, surrender. I didn't understand the word surrender. I thought enslaving myself is surrender. So surrender is not first being a slave. Now, how do I do it? Why should I do it? I have perfect freedom. I can do my own action. I can think on my own. Why should I surrender? We are stuck completely in this beautiful mirage-like universe. We do not see the other side of the truth. We do not see the truth at all. Not even the other side. I'll give you a small example. There's this soldier who is wounded in the battle, but because of his excitement, he doesn't feel the wounds all the time. It happens. What will happen after a day or two when he rests back? Then he feels all those wounds, and then he, oh, my right hand, this was also aching. Oh my God, I punctured my lung. So later on, he understands all his suffering. Similarly, suffering is a part of your karma. While you do it, you do not understand it. Only when the karma yields its action, its fruits of action, then you understand, oh, there is this suffering inside. Like simple action of fostering care to your kids. Theodora has a small pussycat, small kitty. She is taking care of her kitty. Beautiful days these are. It is cuddling Theodora. Theodora is cuddling the kitty. Wonderful. There's someone who is there to take care of you, whom you can take care of. Love is being shared. All good actions. No, there is suffering beneath this action too. What happens? Along with this love, there is this attachment born within. Later on, God forbid something happens to this kitty. How terrible Theodora will feel. So, even an action which is completely meritorious, good, just because of our desire, just because we have fired it up with our intentions, what had happened? It had included the suffering part with it. And we are so ignorant, we blind ourselves, mask ourselves that we don't see it. We don't try to see it, we don't want to see it. We don't have that part of acceptance within. All those outside people who are troubled, who are suffering, they are suffering because of karma. When suffering happens to me, oh my God. So that's a kind of selfishness that we have got. Anyways, now how to get over with it? How to overcome the influences of karma? You have to be really clever, wise enough to get over the influences of karma. You have to be a really dignified, pure soul to overcome the influences of karma. How? Again, I'll give you an example. There's this sea, which is very rough. But a novice sailor, he has given all the efficient tools. There are oars, there are sails, there are rudders. He can easily bring this boat offshore, but he couldn't because he is novice. At the same time, a clever sailor with the poorest of the poorest oars, rudders, and sails, he can bring the boat off the shore. How is that possible? Only because he knows how the sea, he is so acclimatized to this sea. He had been traveling a lot with his experience. He knows how the sea's currents and flows are, how is the direction of wind. And then with the poorest of the poor tools only, he could take the boat offshore. Right? So that's the difference between a clever sailor and a novice sailor. When you understand the laws of karma, the laws of nature better, then you overcome, then you can bring this lifeboat offshore. Your life to the shore. You're not stuck in that rough sea of karmic influences. So you should have the wisdom. You should know the laws of nature. You should understand the laws of karma. So I've written down certain things. Let me just read it out to you so that the points are very clear and you can even write it down. I'm a teacher basically, so I'll keep on saying. Make notes of it. Sorry for that behavior of mine. Number 1. Desire stands behind thought stimulating and direction of the action. It is the desire that stands behind the action. Even the thought is being stimulated by your intention. And it fires up your action. It adds the fire. It adds the intensity of your action, of your karma. Not only the piece of action that you do, but also the after effect, the later effect, the immediate effect, the consequence, karma phala, the uttara phala, everything. So the first thing that you should understand is the main regulating force. the main transformer behind your action, which is your desire, sanga, attachment. Number 2, thought energized and determined by desire stands behind action. A simple thought, oh, I'm feeling very humid, I'm feeling very hot, I'm feeling very cold. It's just a simple thought. But when thought, unites with the desire, it gets energized. The thought becomes powerful. Oh my God, I'm feeling hot and humid here. Let me put on this air conditioner on, So when that desire turns up, what will happen? The simple thought of feeling hot and humid becomes very pathetic. Oh my God, I'm feeling so hot. Oh my God, I'm feeling so hot. Hot flushes. All those postmenopausal women here. I used to counsel them. Only when you have repetitive thoughts, you will feel more hotter. What do you want? Want to feel yourself more hot? Not by the way you look, but really I'm speaking. So desire, the intention, the repetition of the thought actually energizes the thought. And if at all you want to make this thought strong, like I should be the best professional in the world, I should be the best mother in this world, I should be a better woman, properly acknowledged by this society. Now, if you have that desire, if that desire is strengthened by repetitive thoughts, that becomes your personality. Yato bhavaha, yato manaha, tato bhavaha. How is your thought? Then that's the same way you will become. You will be, not become. You will be. So mind has this creative power. Man becomes what he thinks. His mind becomes his personality. Let me give a small analogy. There was this sick traveler. He was sick because he was traveling all throughout by foot. There was no vehicle on those days. He was just traveling all by foot. He was weary and tired. So he sat beneath a tree, not knowing the importance of the tree. The tree happened to be a tree which gives all that you just think about. So he takes a sigh of relief because that shelter of the tree, that coolness had actually made him relax. So he just made a sigh, and then he thought, oh my God, let me have some water. If at all in this jungle, dark jungle, I could have some water, I can relax a little more. And suddenly there was, a pot, earthen pot, cool water and, tasty water came up in front of him. He was astonished. He had 2-3 glasses of water and then felt like, oh my God, if at all my hunger, I'm starving all these days, my hunger would have quenched like the thirst. Oh, there was Panchabaksha Paramannam, all the feast that he had to have in front of him just appeared. He was so lewd, but he didn't think of anything else because he was so hungry. He ate up all the food. It didn't even finish. Didn't even kept anything remaining. He finished off everything. And then he thought, oh, how good it would have been after this beautiful lunch. I had a cot with beautiful cozy bed over, and then I could sleep over here. Cot came, bed came, beautiful. And then he lied down over it. He was so happy. And then he thought, oh, if at all I had apsaras, beautiful, young, divine women for me to, relax, to actually do the spa, massage my foot, because I've been traveling. And they were young women, even divine women, helping him out. So he was so happy. And then before even snoring away the thought, just that thought came up, oh, what would have happened if a tiger, this is dark jungle woods I am stuck with. And there came a tiger, all the divine young women. The person is everything vanished. And he himself, he lost his near and dear life. So that is the powerful mind. It is not the tree. That is his powerful mind that had created his universe. And it is not a story. Alina is in such and such a place, out there. Lalitha is in this place out here, just because we have thought, energized, desired in such a manner, made that karmic residue, made that dispositional tendencies and psychological traces on our own, how we ought to be. Why is Julia Roberts living such a good life? I do not know whether she is living such a good life or not. Anyhow, no? Such and such a life. And why am I leading this life? Haven't you thought about it? Perhaps she is repenting for her life. That's another matter. But we choose our life. A beggar down the street chose his life because he energized his thoughts and karma in such a manner to be. Now, coming to the point. Now that you have understood all the laws of karma, now that you have understood all the in and outs behind what karma is being, stimulated, kindled with, now you should know the importance of karma yoga. The kindling force behind karma and karma phala is the attachment, is the desire, intention, the passion that we create from within, from our mind, from our superior psyche, that power. Drop that intention, Krishna says. When you drop that intention that I have to excel, you will really excel. What bad logic you give, Lalitha ji. If I am ambitious, then only I will be successful. This is the mantra what management guru can teach you, not a spiritual guru. Because a spiritual guru always sees the other side of the truth that we, ignorant, blinded masters, don't see. Never your life can succeed if you have greatest passion or ambition behind. Surrender your thought. If at all, if your mother, if you have so much love towards your mother and your mother is sick, if you want her to be out of sickness, drop the thought. Pray unto that thought and surrender. What do you do while you pray? I do not have any control. You help me out. Right? Pray unto that thought or the desire that you have. That is what Karma Yoga says. I again take up the same example that I mentioned previous week. There weren't many. Perhaps it can be new to him or her. As from Ramayana, Sri Rama understood very much that he was just an agent in ruling the entire empire. The father of Rama was not just a king. He was not just a mere ruler. He was an emperor himself. So when the empire was given to him, he wasn't super excited. He was happy. He wasn't super excited. When he came down to his mother telling the news, oh, father had given me the beautiful opportunity. Amba Pitra Niyuktosmi Prajapalana Karmani. He says, hey mother, oh mother, my father had appointed me as an agent to serve people, not to rule people, to serve people. That's the kind of intention that he had. Why am I projecting this as so important? Because the next day he was forbidden from his kingdom. He was thrown out for 14 long years, all with his family. Nothing, no penny has to be taken from the empire. Huh? At that point of time, Nachasya Mahatim Lakshmim Rajanashaha Pakarshati. He didn't feel sad at all. Instead, his face shone like lotus, lotus face, shone like these golden beam of the lotus, like the golden beam of the autumnal moon. Why? How did this happen? When misery strikes us, we feel so miserable. We feel sorrowful. We feel this is end of the day. Why? How is that Rama was completely different? What made him different? Just because of that intention, and I'm just an agent. No change, any change in the administration didn't even bring the change in his psyche. He was absolutely strong, like a rock, powerful, happier. That's more important. Just because he knew that the actions are not done by him. He is just an agent to do the actions of the life. The actions are governed by the divine. This is what Vedanta says. The divine accountant out there, he knows what to give, what not to give, when to give, when not to give. Even when you're praying a lot, doing a lot of things for that, he knows when not to give. So that surrender and sense of agency is very, very important in Karma Yoga. Non-attachment, non-doership. Karmaha ashuklaha akrishnaha yogi, akrishnam yoginaha, Patanjali says. So this is what doing actions neither white nor black. These actions will never give you good benefits, never give you bad benefits, but literally pull you out of this vicious cycle of birth and death. Back in the raksak, there is no karma, there is no samskara, there is no vasana. Tajjas samskaraha anyas samskara pratibandhi, says Rishi Patanjali. He says, in the deepest layers of samadhi, the samskaras that you have, you burn it all. How do you burn it? There are new set of samskaras that are born from meditation, that are born from samadhi, and that burns the earlier, previous births samskaras, previous births dispositional tendencies. And you are a transformed personality. Now, even at the coldest of coldest regions in Antarctica, being naked, you don't feel cold. That's how Himalayan rishis are. They don't wear a cloth, they are not robed. But they don't feel cold. How is that possible? That sense of attachment is gone. They are a complete transform, kaya kalpa. They are a complete transformation of personality. The whole mind-body continuum has transformed. Nothing in this world can make them miserable. Only with this attitude of surrender, non-doership, sense of agency, non-attachment. Because attachment is what kindles the action. Attachment is what, desire is what kindles your karma. I'll end with one thing because we have 5-7 minutes left. There were many questions posed on to me at this pandemic situation. Ma'am, you talk more about Karma Yoga, you talk more about Bhakti Yoga, importance of surrender and all. Now, at this situation, pandemic situation, how can one do actions? Nothing is in our control, but still we have to act, still we have to serve. There are many frontliners who were asking these questions. Nurses very well knew these antibiotics will never help this patient. Antibiotics in general are made to kill bacteria, not the virus. But because of the placebo effect, because of the other immunity boosting techniques that we do, somehow patients survive and somehow certain don't. No, the nurses knowing that this is not the right line of treatment, this is not the right line of medication, but still engages themselves in service. How can I do that? Is again an answer in Valmiki Ramayana, where Rama says, Asankalpita bevehe yad akasmat pravartade nivrityarambhamarabdham nanu daivasya karma tat. Look, there are many things that you can in life, you can, make possibilities, analyze, make grids upon, and then find out, oh, this might be the result of that. You can do all the analysis properly because we're all wise, we're all educated, we are all matured, we have all those experiences, so we very well can decide what was going to happen with this action or not. But sometimes there are events happening without our control, beyond our logic, goes out of control, without our sankalpa. At these situations, how one should react? Nanu daivasya karma tat. Understand this is the action of divine. When so many deaths are happening, there are people saying, oh, is there no God? I should say ignorant, foolish people. How will earth, how will Prakriti create its own balance? You are not dying because your mortality rate has gone down because of the technologies and medications and ventilators and whatnot that you have created in the society. There is no earthquake. You have so many equipments happening. You are trying to take all those people, clear all those people off because you know earthquake is coming up. Prakriti, nature creates its own balance. Think of dinosaurs' world, the era. Didn't the nature create its own balance? Every time God has some underlying plan for the balance that the Prakriti has to have. So if at all you don't understand the logic behind any action, or if you are not able to possibly foresee that this can be the result of the action, then understand it is the action of divine. At this point of time, what should you do? How should you react? Cry and repent. That is going to again bind your action. Ignore, that is again going to bind your action. What do you want to do? Surrender and let things go. Let things go. I've seen many cancer survivors just because they could survive because of this attitude. Let go. That we learn from Shavasana every day. With yoga practice from Manish. At the end of the practice, there is Shavasana. Let go your toes. Relax your ankles. Be aware of your knees. Let go. You're aware of the event. Let go. You're aware of the news. Black fungus, white fungus, yellow fungus. We're all having rainbow colored fungus every day. There's no highest of the highest medical professionals could not yield their wisdom in this. Why is this happening? Action of divine. Let go. You can't do ever anything, just let go. If you can do, then you should exercise action. If not, then you will be bound. So you should be that clever sailor, even with efficient or poorest tools. One who understands the direction of the flow, current of the rough sea, he can take the boat shore. That's how you have to be. Understand the laws of karma, understand the law of divine actions, and then act. Don't react. Thank you so very much. That's all for today. If at all you have any queries, please let me know. And my kind submission is that you have been listening to around 6 months, perhaps every Sunday. Almost every Sundays we are meeting up. I would request one single thing, and then we'll close the session. I've been doing this Bhagavad Gita thing in Hindi, but we'll also, if you like the sessions from me after this break, if I could get this break from you, I can start up with Bhagavad Gita also. I just need one thing. My mail ID, I'm putting this in the chat box, is Dr Lalitha Gaurav @gmail.com. I need your feedback. I need your comments, positive or negative. I am your Lalita, don't worry. I need both of them. So that is always betterment. No? Karma phala, don't think it as a karma phala, but it is just to do more better than what I can do to serve you. Like Raja Rama, he used to come down to every being in Ayodhya, ask about people, how are you doing? How is the administration? Is there any problem? So something like that. So please do let me know. And by that way, I can have all your emails also. And then get to introduce myself more personally with your, if at all you're not that comfortable to talk right now, you can just write to me, or else you can talk also. No worries. Thank you so very much. Is there any question?
No, thank you.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you.
I do have a question. I just want to thank you for everything, and I hope you will be back soon.
Yes, I will. There are a few familial things that I had to do. Many things. So I need a few weeks, and then I think I won't be able to spare the Sundays also. So that's why.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Sylvia. We'll surely come up with Bhagavad Gita. And then Manish was saying that if I could find out any, or if he could find out any, they can start up with every shloka and its meaning and how relevant it is to our life. If that could happen, then all the problems, all the stresses that Manish was mentioning, that people have thought they are stressful, but literally they are not stressful at all. When they understand it through Gita, then there would be more betterment in the quality of life that they lead. So nice mission that he has had, in his mind. So let us all put this through. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Do mail me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you also, Lalita. How long is your break? How long are you going to take a break?
3 to 4 weeks, perhaps. 3 to 4 weeks. By July, and there are things that I have to do for the IDY also, International Day of Yoga. There are very many seniors of mine who are equally busy because of that. Hence, I couldn't appoint any. I would ask if my juniors could help in through. Until then, Please forgive my absence. Thank you, Aurelia. Thank you.